Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to askNK. Today we're going to take a look at something that is pretty interesting. So for some time now, Blender artists have actually wanted to get Blender on a mobile device that they can use anywhere and at any time. And it's quite interesting to see that this is now made available by an interesting community member called Epi. Of course, we've seen Blender being tested across various devices, and we've actually even seen a little bit of a mock-up of what it should look like. And having this run natively on an Android device makes so much sense. And today we're going to explore this beautiful version of Blender that is now available on Android, how it works, what and what you should expect, how you can get things going, the upside, downsides, and every single thing you need to expect when working with a tool like this. And of course, for those who like to grab this, then you can simply go over to the link in the description and check this out. This has actually been available on the wraps for some time now. There was a version of this that was released sometime in December. Didn't really get so much buzz like that, and then we got another one a couple of weeks back, and we've actually gone through, test this out on the device, and today we're going to share all of the things that you need to know about it. So with that said, for those who like to grab this, then you can simply go ahead, check the link in the description where you can get the APK and subsequent resource links that I'm also going to put down there. And with that said, let's get right into it. So once you've got this installed, there is a couple of cool things that you can do with it. So first things we can do is just simply pop this open, and you would notice that what we've got here is the vanilla version of Blender 3.6.22, which actually works. So once we click out, you would see that we've got everything looking exactly like the desktop version. If you are just using your phone as it is without any extra gear, you cannot orbit across this, you cannot zoom, you can pan, you know, with your fingers especially, you can't do that. However, if you are working with the viewport axis widgets, you'll be able to do all of that. That comes in pretty handy. You can also zoom in and zoom out like so. You can also pan with that, switch to the cameras, do your perspective, orthographic, all that cool stuff. Can this model? It can. So we can simply go ahead and switch this to the edit mode. And from the edit mode, we can start making some cool stuff. I can make a selection like so. Actually, let's go back to the object mode, position this like so. So we can have this, and we can go ahead, select the extrude tool, and we can extrude as many times as we want. We can also select face if this is what we want, and we can also proceed to extrude. So you have that. If you're thinking about beveling, you can also go ahead and bevel. If this is what you want, you can expand the operator and increase the segment. So your typical modeling exists here. The only difference is real estate. We can of course also go over to objects. We can scroll all the way down. So you can literally scroll all the way down and delete stuff if you want. If you want to add stuff in, you can go over to the mesh and throw in that monkey. We can of course go back again and do something with the grid. One thing you would notice is you cannot click to select. You either have to do a marquee selection, which actually selects everything, or you can do a simple marquee selection on the model that you want. And with the move gizmo, or you know, the transform gizmo, you can just move this all the way up, and maybe we can perform a simple rotation like this, bring that down. We can also throw in modifiers. Initially, you kind of be thinking, will this even work? Yes, it does. So we can go ahead and make that subdivision like so. So we have that. We can also render. I know that is something you might have as a question. So yes, we can also render. And you know the fun part? We can render in both EV, and check this out, cycles. Look at that on your Android device. This is wild, right? So this is super wild. On your Android device, you can render, you've got all these things going for you, and it is just amazing. It's amazing what this currently can do. If you're thinking about colors, all that stuff, I can drag this all the way up, go over to the material section, click right there, add a prominent color, something like so, and we can play with all of those properties like we would on a typical desktop. This is your typical Blender, to be honest. It's just now ported for your Android device. There is also a good number of things that you can literally do with this one. So things like simulation, these support simulation 100%. So you want to do simulation and all that cool stuff, you can simply set up a simulation, maybe like a cloth simulation, run the cloth simulation on your device. This is going to run like you're actually working on the computer. Animation also works exactly as expected. So you can set up a keyframe, set up multiple keyframes. You know, you can play with the timeline however you want. animate your character however you want. That is also available. If you're thinking about sculpting, you can also sculpt with this. So you can literally just have an object, throw in a multi-res in there, and use any of the sculpting brushes. You can increase the brush radius, you can increase the strength, you can reduce the strength. You can just simply fiddle around that, get something working. Now, for those who might be wondering, can you open a Blender file in here? Yes, you can. So you can literally just go ahead and open up a Blender file, load that in, inspect the Blender file. If this is something that you're thinking about doing, you can literally just go ahead, inspect your Blender file, cross-check it, see if, things are working the way you want them to. And you can also proceed to hit render with this. And, speaking about rendering, let's go back to that file which we were talking about earlier. So speaking about rendering, there is 2 rendering devices here, which is kind of interesting. So you've got your CPU, and look at that. You also got your GPU. So you can throw in the GPU compute, but this doesn't really do anything, okay? It doesn't really do anything. It sort of gives you the false idea that something is going on. It doesn't, because if you go over to edit and go over to preference, and then you go over to systems, which is right there, you would notice we have no GPU that this recognizes, okay? Nothing like that. So we don't have any of those things. Addons, maybe it is going to be possible to install addons. We haven't tried that out yet. Let's see, maybe something is going to be possible. Let's try this out. Say for example, we throw in an IV Gen or maybe a Bolt Factory, and these are the one. Let's see if this are going to show up, and we just save our preference. Let's go ahead and click on add. And what do you know, if we go over to mesh, they are there. So addons possibly will be able to work with this. Now, if you again are just using your fingers to go through all of this, you've got access to all of these tabs around here. So you have access to all of them. You can select anyone you want. You can just simply go through them and get going. But something that you might struggle with a little bit is if you choose to work with stuff like, say for example, you choose to work with geometry nodes and stuff like that. So you might eventually struggle, because if you go over to your geometry nodes, let's say we create a new geometry nodes, you cannot zoom in, you cannot zoom out with this. That is not possible. So if you're just working with your fingers, that is not going to be possible for you. If you switch to, your shaders, that is also not going to be possible for you. Now, this is where things are going to be pretty interesting for those that have external devices. So if you're using a Bluetooth mouse or a Bluetooth keyboard, there is a lot of possibilities for you. So you can simply use your Bluetooth, connect them. And once you do, this is what you've got. You've got yourself a functioning tool. So if you do have an Android tablet that has a keyboard and you have yourself a Bluetooth mouse, it technically means that you can literally blend anywhere. You can work with Blender anywhere. Because imagine this is a tablet, right? And with the mouse plugged in, we can simply zoom in, zoom out, do all of the mousy things. So we can also come through and split panels. So maybe I would like to split a panel like that, split this panel. We can of course go ahead and do that. I can go over to modeling, go over to sculpting if we want, have this thing selected, switch these again to viewport. You've got all the things. And for shortcuts, exactly how you thought about it, they work the same way. So in this case, say for example, we would like to, make multiple copies. We can always hit Shift and D to make multiple copies, Shift and D from the keyboard to make multiple copies like you would on your typical machine. So you do have that too. So all of the shortcuts, the right clicks are also there because you're using a mouse, so it initializes that. If you're using your keyboard and mouse, Alt-Tab, or even connected to your mobile device, then you have the full functional Blender. And for those who like to create stuff with geometry nodes, of course you can layer in as many nodes as possible right now. As far as you've got your mouse connected and your keyboard, you're literally working with Blender. The only difference here is you're now doing this on your Android phone or on your Android tablet. This is definitely going to do some very good stuff in terms of simple creation, but again, depending on the kind of computing power your phone or your tablet possesses, this will determine how far you can push Blender on your device. And for those who are thinking about rigging, and maybe you're thinking about creating joints, of course you can simply go ahead and create as many joints as possible. And having this run on your mobile device is just something that is pretty interesting. Of course, there is going to be a lot of expectation now something like this is available, but I would want to appeal to, anyone that's going to be trying out this or even working with it to do the very basic or the bare minimum stuff that you would want to do with maybe simple sculpting if you've got a tablet with a pen, or potentially simple just modeling if you want something that you can just work with on the go. If you've got a tablet with a pen and maybe a keyboard, I guess this would be more than enough to get you going. And this just makes it very easy for anyone that's thinking about creating things at any point in time, have that freedom to create like the folks at Blender Foundation have intended. Now, if you're also thinking, okay, maybe I've got all these tools, but I don't know how to get started with creating, then you're in luck because the folks at Super Hive, previously called Blender Market, they are currently doing something that is super amazing. They're giving out a good number of courses, 30 courses that teaches you literally everything you need to know about Blender. So from geometry nodes to modeling, simulation, rigging, all that stuff, sculpting, you will be able to find a course that teaches you from top to bottom how to get on with it. It is even more interesting right now because this is going for an extreme steel. It is pretty insane. It's going for an extreme steel. There's a couple of tools out there that's also doing discounts. I'm going to link them in the description. And it even makes more sense because you can now learn Blender anywhere and blend on your device anywhere and anytime, and also learn the tool as you keep blending. If you're using a Samsung device via a USB to a HDMI cable to a monitor and use Blender on the go, possibly you're now considering using your tablet as your CPU, I've got some interesting news for you. First, this is going to be possible. You can launch Blender. The second news is this is not going to work. It doesn't work on DeX. Hopefully this is going to be something that might be possible in the future, but at this point, this currently doesn't work. So what I can suggest you do is mirror your device and use your peripherals with the device. Another thing that doesn't really work as expected is working with assets from the asset browser. So it doesn't matter whether you're using a keyboard or a mouse, or even if you're using just your fingers to actually work around with this one, this currently doesn't support click, drag, and drop onto the viewport. Both for models and materials, you cannot click, drag, and drop into your viewport. Hopefully, this is going to be rectified with subsequent update, and it is currently interesting to see that we actually even have something that is quite functional up to this point for Android devices. And with that said, for those who are wondering what kind of device we're using to demo this is a pretty old phone, which is the Samsung 20 Ultra. So it just simply proves that if you've got a much more newer phone, you would definitely get better performance out of this. So this is it. For those who are thinking about checking this one out, maybe you like to get it, download it, test it, play with it, or maybe you want to get all of these courses so you can learn anywhere at any time and get good with Blender, then links to this is going to be in the description, so do well to check it out. Tell me what you guys think about this one in the comment section. And of course, if you like this video or you learned something from this, you can go ahead and give a like and don't forget to share with a friend. And I'd like to see you guys in the next one. Peace.